Australia doesn't feel the way it used to. Rents are through the roof, the cost of living is soaring, housing out of reach for an entire generation, real wages have declined, roads are jammed, crime rates are rising, and many Australians say their national identity and heritage, built on the values like hard work, mateship, and Christianity, is being ripped away or even shamed. At the same time, we're told to celebrate diversity and embrace rapid change. But it's fair for many Aussies to ask, is this sustainable? And is this what we want? A growing number of Australians are beginning to connect the dots, and for many, mass immigration is one of the biggest drivers of these changes. This video isn't about blame, it's about facts. We're going to unpack what's really happening and why so many Aussies feel like strangers in their own country. Quick disclaimer, this video presents publicly available information and encourages open discussion. It does not promote hate, discrimination, or conspiracy. Viewers are urged to think critically and verify sources. To support us, consider becoming a YouTube channel member or check out our Patreon or new merch line, links in the description below. Australia, now at approximately 28 million, grew 2.5% in 2023, making it one of the fastest growing developed nations in the world. And net overseas migration accounted for 84% of that growth, over 547,000 people in that 1 year. And from mid-year 2022 to mid-year 23, migrant arrivals were 739,000, and net overseas migration hit over 536,000. Even as migrant arrivals briefly declined the next year from mid-year 23 to 24 to about 667,000 people, migration is still over 6 times the amount of births that we have in this country, which is about 105,000 a year. From mid-22 to mid-23, Australia added over 1 million permanent people, and that is the fastest population growth rate percentage in modern history. And according to the ABS's statistics for migration in 2023, we added more than the population of the Gold Coast, or almost twice the amount of Canberra, or more people than the population of Geelong and Hobart combined, and over 5 times the population of Darwin, respectively, into this country in 1 year. Projections now suggest our population could even exceed 40 million by 2060, which is a ginormous leap from today's roughly 27 to 28 million. One of the most visible impact that this has had has been on housing. In every major city, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, homelessness among Aussies is at record highs, while prices are also at record highs. Average property prices have doubled since 2012, only 12 years, 13 years, and international students alone rent 7% of Australia's private rental market. Property prices have jumped dramatically, with first home buyers being locked out of the market, particularly younger Australians in my generation. Increased demand from new arrivals, combined with investor activity and foreign ownership, has made housing both scarce and unaffordable for many locals. The labour market is another pressure point. Australia has suffered the largest drop in real disposable income among developed countries in 2 years. Real wages remained 4.8% below pre-pandemic levels, while other developed countries rose approximately 1.5%. While some industries claim to have benefited from skilled migrants, the influx of temporary workers in hospitality, aged care, construction, and agriculture, and most places, has been heavily linked to real wage decline. This often hurts vulnerable workers the most, when migrants from the third world are, in most cases, happy to accept these low wages because the standards of living that they experience here is much higher anyway, whereas Aussies are getting laid off or forced to accept low wages, and all the while large employers benefit from this. Immigration also places pressure on infrastructure. I mean, in case you haven't noticed, roads are way more congested than they used to be 10 to 15 years ago. Public transport is overwhelmed in certain areas. Hospitals and schools stretched thin, not because of poor service, but because of population overload. The Productivity Commission has warned multiple times that infrastructure development isn't able to keep up with migration-fueled growth, reducing the overall quality of life for all Australians, like even including migrants. And another concern that many Aussies have is that Australia's cultural identity is being replaced, or you could argue rapidly being reshaped. Many Australians feel their traditions or national symbols are increasingly sidelined in schools, workplaces, and media, due to mass amounts of different cultures being brought in and the policies that extremely overcorrect in the name of inclusion. For context, 31% of the people in this country have been born overseas, and the strong national identity that Australia held dearly and passionately for close to 100 years, from Federation all the way up until this millennia, appears to nearly be fully faded away, and true Aussies are mad about it and often get shut down or frowned upon by the media when they speak up. Concerns also extend to land and property ownership. Foreign investment, especially in real estate and farmland, has skyrocketed in the last decade. Over 10% of farmland is foreign owned in Australia, as residential purchases also soar. While somehow legal, these purchases have led to fears that Australians are losing control over their own land, being priced out of homes and even farmland by buyers who don't even live in the country. So this issue isn't fully just directly an immigration issue, although that definitely contributes to it, but it is a major policy issue that needs to be addressed. Many Australians also feel that government policies favour migrants over citizens. From business grants to housing assistance and educational placements, whether intentional or not, there's a growing sense that citizenship and being an Aussie means a lot less than it once did. And locals are expected to give up more in the name of inclusivity. Australia's visa system is another source of concern. Loopholes in student and working holiday visas have been reportedly majorly exploited, and not even always by migrants, but by agents and employers. Also, investigations have uncovered fake enrollments, visa fraud, and underpayment scandals in certain workspaces. And these systems being abused harms everyone and damages public trust in the immigration system as well as a whole. There's also a broader concern about social cohesion from a lot of Aussies. While some claim multiculturalism has brought richness to Australia's society, rapid demographic shifts can create tensions, which we have already seen here. But we're largely seeing the effects of this in places like England or across Europe. And this includes issues like religious tensions, in public institutions, language barriers in critical services, or parallel communities forming, which is a huge one, creating major division based on culture. And migrants aren't even the ones really to blame here, because of course they're going to stick mostly to their own communities. I guess that's natural, but it's the government who has pushed and is continuing to push this rapid change here. And the hard part is many Australians feel like they can't talk about this, even when it's actually affecting their lives and their children's lives and their future maybe grandchildren's lives will be affected because of a lot of these issues. Which is crazy because that's why our Anzacs fought in World War I and II, right? Like my great grandfather fought, and one of the main reasons was, yeah, for their children, for their future grandchildren and the generations of Aussies to come. And you know, one of the major things that they fought for was to preserve something called the White Australia policy, which is, you know, something we've done a video on here on the channel, but you can check that out at the end of this video. But you know, raising questions about migration, immigration policy often leads to being labeled racist or silenced or even threatened. But public debate and questions are very important and also are not hate speech. We need a national conversation that allows room for facts and data in these areas because many people are suffering under this broken system. And you can't solve a national issue if you're not allowed to talk about it. And I guess that's what this video is really about. Australia's direction is being shaped without a proper debate, and people are paying the price. Housing, wages, services, and identity are all under pressure, and according to Aussies, mass immigration has played, a major role in this. These are real issues backed by real data, yet raising them gets dismissed or silenced. That's just not acceptable. If this continues without serious public scrutiny, the consequences will only grow. Australians deserve a say in their own future. To inform other Aussies about this issue, like and share this video, consider checking out our merch and becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon, link in the description below, and check out one of the 2 videos on screen now. God bless Australia, and Christ is King.